I'm Jeff Clark with TechAmerica, and I'm sitting down today with New Mexico's Lieutenant Governor, Diane Denish, here to talk about some of the exciting things that are going on in New Mexico and some of the great things the Lieutenant Governor's been doing for technology in that state. So thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for meeting with me, and heard some exciting comments from you today about the future of New Mexico and the challenges you're facing with some of the great ideas you have to solve those. Can you maybe share that with some of our members, what you see for your state and what the vision is for the future?
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Jeff, for the opportunity to be here and to visit with you a little bit. In New Mexico, as I said earlier to you, I think we're well positioned to lead in many areas. The alternative energy field is one example of what makes us a leader in the Southwest, because we not only have a lot of the sun, but we for solar technology, but we also have the human resources. Our goal has been to create opportunities with incentives in New Mexico. Tax incentive programs, tax credit programs, job training programs to encourage and incentivize industries to, high-tech industries to not only locate but to grow in New Mexico. So we've spent a lot of time on that, and that's what's really made us one of the leaders. Not only do we have incentives such as tax credits and tax incentives, but we also have sustainable programs. And as you know, in this kind of economy, as states try to leap over each other, one of the keys for the future is sustainability of programs.
That's great. How is your economy faring? And of course, we're facing challenges nationwide, but I know you've spoken a great deal. Your background in small business, I know from some of what we've read about you, there's terrific incentives that you've created to promote small business and job creation. How's the economy looking in New Mexico, and what ideas do you have to help prompt more growth and more job creation?
Well, first of all, we're doing a little better than the rest of the country. That's not to say we're not feeling our share of the pain, but we have a lower unemployment, which is important. So we're working hard on not just job creation, but job sustainability in New Mexico. My time as Lieutenant Governor, I have had a strong focus on the small business community, access to capital and resources for small businesses, connecting the network of small business with our labs, with small business development centers, creating the micro-lending opportunities for the tiniest businesses and we have a very strong micro-lending network in New Mexico that lends anywhere from $500 to about $110,000, which has been really important. And we've impacted about 1,700 business over the last 4.5 years with either equity investment, micro-lending opportunities, or business growth opportunities in New Mexico. And we do that by having a small little percentage of our general fund as partners with the lending community to make sure that we can continue to invest in startup companies. So not only do we have, for instance, a tax credit of 4% for any R&D that's exported from New Mexico, but we also then have the opportunities for those research and development companies to have a resource for the access to capital. We also changed our law so that our job training programs could go to smaller and smaller companies. So, for instance, our larger companies like Shot Solar or Hewlett Packard or some of the new companies that are in New Mexico, they can get job training assistance programs, but we also now make it available to smaller companies.
That's great.
There's also a tax incentive for creating certain high-wage jobs over $40,000 a year. So there's a tax incentive to do that also.
That's great. Your national laboratories in New Mexico, obviously for the last more than half a century, have been one of the leading scientific endeavors of this country and have spun off a wide variety of job and economic opportunities and scientific advancements. And I know you had some very interesting things to tell us about how those labs are working, but also about the spaceport and and those are just remarkable initiatives. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, for all the financial incentives we can provide, one of the best incentives in New Mexico is the human capital that we have and the knowledge base that comes from having had the very strong national lab community in New Mexico and their ability. Sandia Labs continues to assist in small business development. They get a tax credit for consulting with small businesses, for doing prototyping, for doing all kinds of things for small businesses. I think that's important. But during our administration, we have made a significant financial investment in Spaceport America. We have a contract with Virgin Galactic for commercial space enterprise. We currently have 4 spaceport companies that are launching different kinds of payloads right now before we've ever had commercial flights. So that's exciting for New Mexico. It is a very great job creation opportunity. It's a wonderful educational opportunity for the 4-year institutions and for other places around the country to come. And it's also a great tourism opportunity. Once, as it begins to expand, there'll be all kinds of opportunities to bring tour groups from around the world, not just around the country, to New Mexico.
So New Mexico is our new gateway to space.
That's exactly right. We've got, if there's one thing we have in New Mexico, in addition to all these alternative energies, it's airspace.
That's very true.
I do want to mention that as part of that, I've served as the chair of what we call our Base Planning Commission. We have 4 military installations in New Mexico, some that are concentrated around where the spaceport will be. But all of our military installations, but especially White Sands, have also been our partners in many ways in aviation and other kinds of
great technological advancements and activity taking place at those military bases as well.
Right.
That's great.
So we've benefited from that, and but we do have a lot of that airspace, and I know that we spent a lot of time negotiating with the Federal Aviation Administration about what we need to do for Spaceport America, and we expect the price of a commercial space ticket to come down from $220,000 one of these days to something where it's more affordable.
Start saving.
Yeah, but they do have reservations, lots of them.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is it? Again, thank you very much for taking time to talk to me and to talk to our members at TechAmerica. Is there anything you'd like to share with the technology community in this country, or any message or anything that we can do for you in helping New Mexico grow?
Well, let me just say, in New Mexico, we have a commitment to high technology jobs in our state because we know what it means to bring all the resources together. We have a commitment to our educational institutions to partner with them at the same time that we're partnering with the private sector to bring those jobs and to have the partnerships that really make the high-tech industry as successful as it can be. I will tell you that if anybody in your membership is thinking about New Mexico, we don't call ourselves the land of enchantment for no reason. We are a wonderful place to live and work and play, enjoy the outdoors, but also have access to some of the greatest technological minds, educational minds, in scientific minds in the country. I just had the ability the other day to talk to a man from Los Alamos that's been nominated for the Nobel Prize, and he was just barbecuing with us in northern New Mexico. So those opportunities exist in a state like New Mexico. And I look forward to, as governor of New Mexico, continuing those partnerships with companies and exciting, bold endeavors across the country to bring them to New Mexico and to sell our resources to make them successful.
That's wonderful. Lieutenant Governor Diane Denish from New Mexico, thank you very much for everything you're doing. We really appreciate you.